Karina baby for the 28th, we have Four Seasons Farm. Let's take a look. It was summertime and Robert was staying on his uncle's farm. One afternoon, Robert and his Uncle Jack went for a walk. They went through the gate that had Four Seasons Farm on it. What are seasons? Asked Robert. Well, the four different times of the year, said his uncle. What are they called? Said Robert. Summer, spring, autumn, and winter, said his uncle. One season follows another every year. As they walked, Uncle Jack talked about the seasons. In springtime, the crops begin to grow, he said. You can see tiny leaf buds on the tree and hedges. Everything starts to wake up in the beginning of the year. Along the way, they saw sheep grazing by the river. Do you have any lambs? Asked Robert. The lambs were born in spring, said Uncle Jack. It's summertime now. They're growing up. What happens in summer? Asked Robert. Let's look around, said his uncle. Robert pointed to the trees and hedges. They're covered with leaves, he said. That's right, said Uncle Jack. There are lots of flowers, too, in summer. The sun helps to ripen the crops. They walked through the field of corn that was turning yellow. The crops will soon be ready to harvest, said Uncle Jack. What comes next? Asked Robert. I've forgotten. Autumn, says his uncle. That's the season when some leaves change colors. They turn orange, yellow, and brown. And you'll find nuts and berries ready for picking in the autumn. Then the squirrels can collect them and store them, can't they? Said Robert. Yes, said his uncle. It's a busy time of year. The apples in the orchard are ready to pick then, too. We pack them in boxes and take them to the market. I know what comes next, said Robert. Winter. The coldest season of the year, said Uncle Jack. When it snows, we bring the crows into the barn for shelter. We bring the cows into the barn for shelter. I like snow, said Robert. I bet you do, said his uncle. But it's the time of year when nature has a rest. The trees are bare and some animals curl up and sleep all through winter. Then the season starts all over again, said Robert. That's right, said his uncle. We plow the fields in the autumn and winter months, ready to sow more crops in the spring. So that's why this is called Four Seasons Farm, said Robert. And they walked back to the farmhouse. So that was the Four Seasons Farm. Let's take a look at the other page. Let's go back to Aesop's Fables. We have the ant and the grasshopper. And it says, we all know people who keep putting off things they should do, but they can all imagine ourselves in one position of the grasshopper in this fable. After you read this story, ask yourself this question. Would you have behaved the way the grasshopper did? Look at that grasshopper. And there's the ant. The ant and the grasshopper, Aesop. All day long, all through the warm days of summer, a green grasshopper went happily about. Whenever the grasshopper was thirsty, he would sip nectar from the plant he saw. One afternoon, the grasshopper was leaping from flower to flower. He saw beneath him a little black ant, struggling to carry a fat leaf bigger than himself. Little friend, said the grasshopper, what are you doing down there? Why, I am carrying this leaf off to my nest. I must fill my nest with food to last through the winter. Winter, said the grasshopper. Who cares about winter? Why don't you climb up to this flower and enjoy its sweet nectar? Winter will take care of itself. This isn't the way things work in this world, said the ant. Winter will be here soon. The flowers will be gone and there will be nothing to eat. Well, suit yourself, said the grasshopper, and off he went singing happily and having no cares at all. The ant returned to his work. It took all his strength to carry each leaf, But he did not mind. He knew he would have enough to last the winter. Soon the cold weather came. The ant was snug in his nest, with plenty of food to eat. The grasshopper? He had nothing to eat, and soon was no more. A wise person knows that summer does not last forever. Baby, this is so true, especially with where we live. We live in the Northeast, where it is cold in the winter, and our summers are very, very short. So we're always in this part of the world preparing for winter. Every single spring hits, we're preparing for winter. Summer hits, we're preparing even more for winter. Autumn hits, and we're like, are we ready for winter? Because we want to be ready for winter. We want to make sure that we have all of our caches stored up, all of our food stored up, and we have all of our clothes that we need, and that we have everything in order for the winter. Because it gets so cold in the winter, so we just want to make sure that we have enough for the winter. I hope that you are having a very blessed day today. Let's do Oh, the grand old Duke of York had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and then he marched them down again. And when they were up, and when they were down, and when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Karina, baby, I love you, and I miss you so incredibly much. I miss you so much, baby. I just love you so much.